Stop using the Lord's name in vain. Whenever something bad happens in everyone's life, they say Jesus Christ or God or help me, or they say on God. When they say something to put on something, they say I put that on God. Why would you be putting things on God? Like for your selfish desires to prove a point. Like that's just disrespectful if you ask me. But oh, all of a sudden when something good happens, you say speaking of the devil. Like what the fuck? Like, don't you think that's weird? Like, to me, that's weird. Like, why do we target Christianity? Like, out of all the religions. Like, I mean, I don't say it's a religion. I say Christianity is more of a relationship with God. But why don't they say, oh, whenever something bad happens, oh, Muhammad, oh, Buddha. They don't say these things, right? They say Jesus Christ. It's literally like second nature. Like, even like with all the people like that I know, like they don't even follow Christianity, but they still say Jesus Christ whenever something bad happens in their life. And man, like it hurts my soul to like hear people say I put that on God. I put that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, oh yeah, I believe in Jesus, you know. I do go to church and stuff like that, but it's just like, my boy, are you really in it? Like, are you really in with the Lord? Because right now you're just showing me, like, by saying these things, these blasphemous things, like you're just telling me that you're a lukewarm. Like low key, like you say all these crazy things, but then you say, oh yeah, I believe in God. Well, why are you putting things on God? Why whenever something bad happens in your life, you say Jesus Christ? They don't say Buddha, they don't say Muhammad, they don't say all these things. They specifically target Christianity, and there's a reason. It's obviously because they know there's some truth behind it. Like they literally say this out of second nature. Like, don't you think that's not even a coincidence, right? Like, for someone to be saying Jesus Christ when they don't even, they've probably never read a Bible, a page of the Bible, a day in their life. That just shows to me, like, yo, like, this is bigger than it seems. Like, this is literally, like, second nature. Like, at this point, you already know. Like, you don't even know, but you already know who the way, the truth, and the life is. But you're just using his name in vain. Why use his name in vain? Why don't you actually start saying Jesus Christ whenever something good happens, right? Like you always say, oh yeah, speaking of the devil. Oh yeah, like yeah. That was just a coincidence. Like God, Jesus, pff, he didn't do that. But my boy, you wouldn't be here at this very moment if it wasn't for him. If it wasn't for the way, the truth, and the life. If he didn't actually get crucified on that cross, we would be all condemned to the sins of this world. But you see, we're not condemned because we get saved through him. And also another saying that I recently realized like is like kind of like demonic in like a certain way is like calling people the goat. What is the goat? Like, what does the goat actually represent? It literally represents like the whole thing with the star and like the Satanism and all that, right? But whenever someone does something really good, or they're doing something good, or they're like really good at something, we call them the goat. We don't say he's the lion. No. We call him the GOAT. Why is that? Like you gotta question these things, my boy. Like these things that you say, you don't even know what you're saying. You don't even know the meaning behind it. Because you mask it, because you think it's cool, because everyone else is saying it, right? But no, my boy, like you can't follow, like you can't be a follower. You gotta be a leader. The only person you should be following is Jesus, is God, is the Messiah. It's so sad because as the younger generation grows up, they use these slangs, the GOAT. Whenever something like bad happens or whatever, like they say, oh yeah, I put that on God. Because it's literally just to attack. It's literally just to attack the nature of God, right? Like if you think about it, like why do we say all these sayings? Like they didn't just come to be out of nowhere, right? There has to be like some sort of meaning behind why we say these things. And like when people say Jesus Christ whenever something bad happens, they have no other name in their mind to say or to speak of, because they know he's the way, the truth, and the life, and they know that they could be saved through him. And so whenever something bad happens, they say his name. But they don't actually like pray, they don't read the Bible. Like why would you do those things? Why would you do things to actually glorify God when you could just use his name in vain? Like, come on now. Like, hey, I don't know, bro. This is crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys catch your like siblings, or like maybe you even say these things yourself. You really gotta like study yourself. You really gotta like know like what you're saying. You can't just be saying these things and not expect like some kind of like, I don't know, consequence. Like you continue to use the Lord's name in vain. You continue to like say these blasphemous things. and you think it's okay? But oh, if I were to say something about Muhammad or Buddha, if I were to use their names in vain, then I would get attacked, right? That's just like the way this world is working. That's how the enemy is tricking us into thinking, into saying these things, into using the Lord's name in vain whenever something bad happens. Notice chapter 20 verse 7. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name. Basically meaning that if you continue to use his name in vain, like you don't even like think of it as a bad thing, like low-key, like whenever I hear people like say these things, like use the Lord's name in vain, like it low-key like hurts my soul, because I'm like, dang, like they don't even realize what they're saying. They don't even realize what they're doing, because this world has tricked them. So many people have normalized this way, this slang, like saying like the Lord's name in vain in certain situations that they shouldn't even be using his name. But oh, whenever something good happens, yeah, let's bring up the devil. Speaking of the devil, yeah, that's a coincidence. That wasn't meant to happen. That wasn't meant to happen by God. No, like he didn't make these good things. It was just a coincidence, right? Get out. Shut up. Like if you're gonna continue to think like this, hey, like low-key, you really need to reevaluate your life. You low-key need to like study your speech, your language, your slang. Like I don't know what you call it, but you call it whatever you want. But don't continue like saying these things without knowing what you're saying, right? Because that's just dumb if you ask me. Matthew 12:36-37. I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Basically meaning like the things you speak, like low-key, like your tongue, like I don't know, this is another Bible verse, but low-key, like the tongue is like the hardest part of your body to control. Because low-key, it's like as sharp as a sword, right? Like your words, like they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. My boy, that's straight up a lie. That's literally straight up a lie. Words actually matter. Words actually hurt. It literally says like in the Bible, I don't know the exact verse, I'll put it right here, but your tongue is as sharp as a sword. And so you got to use it wisely. You can either use your tongue to defend yourself, or you could use it to pierce others. Because your words actually do affect others. The things like the literal like vocals that make up your like vocal cord or your mouth, the things that you're speaking, the literal like audio cells that are coming out of your mouth, pause, like low-key, like they matter. Because like right now your brain is literally like thinking of these things. Like this is a whole like psychological, neurological, like I don't even know what this is called, but like low-key, like you gotta put some thought into your words. You gotta like low-key think of the words that you're saying. Like yes, like obviously you don't have to think like every second, I gotta make sure like I'm saying something right, but like just make sure you're not actually saying the things that aren't right. Not using the Lord's name in vain. Not using his name in situations that it shouldn't be used for. Because a lot of people, they'll say like these things, they'll say all these like slangs and all that, and it's just disrespecting Christianity. That's why like Christianity, like yes, it's the biggest like religion in the world, but it's also the most disrespected. So hey, I don't know what you guys are gonna do, but you gotta stop using the Lord's name in vain. But I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Stay blessed, stay wealthy, rebuke the kingdom of darkness, and embrace the kingdom of righteousness. And remember to keep surpassing your limits, and I'll see you guys in the next one.